You are now listening to the Dad Rules Podcast with your hosts, Mario E.
Welcome back,
and Kid.
everybody, to another episode of the Dad Rules Podcast, where we help you dad better. I'm one of your hosts, Mario E. And Kid, what's going on?
Not much, man. Glad to be on the pod. What we got today?
So today's topic is going to be a picture is worth 1,000 words. So I'll go ahead and start this one off. So we all know that sometimes, one photograph or one picture can evoke so many different emotions and things like that, that it can be more than just what you would get in some short story, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about with this is in raising our children, I know a lot of times, we had an episode recently where we talked about working with your hands and these types of things, right? Yeah. But there are plenty of careers that are very, very creative, where our young people get to, play around with photos, art, things like that. And those careers can be very, very enjoyable, and they can be very lucrative a lot of times. And I just, because I think about my daughter, she has a passion for photography. We had bought her a camera for Christmas a couple of years ago, and she likes to take her, camera around and snap photos. My son, he likes to draw. It's even kind of helped him, with some of his math and things like that. And, so I think about, a picture being worth 1,000 words. Not everything has to be, so straightforward. A lot of times, we can kind of steer our kids into using their creativity a lot more. So that's one thing that I thought about with a picture's worth 1,000 words. Also, just like I said, and just the straightforward thinking of it, how many times have we seen movies, which movies are an art? They're like pictures, it's just a long form of a picture. How many times have we seen where the author writes a book or a short story of some sort, and it's great. Don't get me wrong, it's great. But seeing it on camera does something different. It brings it to life just a little bit more. Imagine reading the story of Batman, but you never ever got to saw Batman. But then you see him in the comic book, or you see him on a movie. It just brings it to life a little bit more. And, like I said, and the ability to be able to do that and to be able to steer our kids into those directions. A lot of our kids, man, one of the things I just wanted to say with that is, everyone has different talents, right? Some people have talents with their hands that they can build anything. Some people have talents that they can fix things with their hands. Other people, their talents, could be just their mind and their creativity. And we should be able to help our kids harness that creativity and to be able to do great things with it. That's the main thing that I think about when I think about a picture's worth 1,000 words. What about you?
About me, there's a sadness just came over me when you're talking about this.
Sadness?
Yeah, sadness, man. Because being in education, it's like we are so focused on them having to learn the standards that it's easy for us to get distracted and sometimes omit student creativity. And I hate that. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and was one of my superiors, and on the job, and they were like, don't forsake that. Always leave room, even though you're teaching what you have to teach, always leave room for them to be creative. He said, that's in our mission as a school system. That's in our mission, that the kids are to be creative. And he actually showed me where it said that. And I started thinking more about it, because you get so caught up in where you want the kids to be academically. You get caught up into, I want you to know this before you go to the next grade, because I know this is going to help you, and you have to know this. But then at the same time, we forget that they need to be able to express themselves by drawing. They need to be able to express themselves by writing. They need to be able to think outside the box. I can't keep you focused on what I'm telling you so much that you don't think outside of what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's sad because not everybody has came to that realization like I have. Teachers, parents, community leaders, we get so caught up into what the things that we need for life. Because just being honest, I'm not gearing my son to be an artist. That's not what I'm pushing him toward. I'm not pushing him towards to being an acclaimed author. If I had to pick a career for him right now, probably be science, technology, engineering, and math. Because I know that if he gets a degree in those fields, he's going to be able to get a job and he's going to be able to take care of himself.
Right.
That's sad. It's sickening.
Yeah. Are you
saying that we strip that from our kids because in the arts, it's hard to make a lot of money in the arts. You have to be successful. It's a grind that you have to constantly go through and you have to believe. And some people do it their whole lives and never reach the pinnacle of where they want to get to in their career. So the safe zone is to push your kids towards something that makes money. But that's sad because we need creatives. We need this stuff in our lives. That's our entertainment. That's what we enjoy. That's what people get a release, even music. If a kid comes up to you and you say, hey, what you want to do when you grow up? I want to be a rapper. What you gonna tell them? You need to get a plan B.
That's what a lot of people would tell that kid. Or if someone said they wanted to be a singer, they tell them, hey, you might want to go to get your degree to fall back on.
But really, what is that kid saying? If I want to be a rapper, what is he really saying? He want to be a poet. That's all it is. It's poetry with music. That's all it is, but we don't,
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, you shouldn't be a writer. You got to go do something. And man, and that's why, like, I'm happy because we have the podcast. Because me and you, even though we have our jobs that take care of our families, we have investments that take care of our families. But outside of that, we have a vehicle here where we can be creative.
Yeah.
And you can express yourself. You're one of the best writers that I've known. But is that like your W-2 profession? No.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we have to take our passions and put them to the side because we got to put food on the table. And that stuff messes with your mental as dads, because a lot of times we can't pursue what we love because we have the responsibility of taking care of our families and being that rock for our families. And if we don't make room for our passions, it can get lost. And if you don't continuously work on that passion, you lose your skill set. Man, I mean, I hate that, man. And like, even when it comes to music and stuff like that, it's like, that's a hobby. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it gets classified.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I mean, you can say whatever you want to say, but that's how society has geared us toward. You got to go where the money is.
Yeah, but don't you think that we should kind of steer our kids and steer ourselves into doing the things that we find the joy in? If you find joy in being creative, that's a peace of mind that you can't buy, you know? And even though you may not have what others have financially, we can make it on a lot less money. You can. You can. We might not want to, but you can make it on less money than what you currently have.
But when you make that money and you have to go back down to enjoy your passion,
Yeah, that's
where the pain comes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I agree. I agree with you. And I don't blame my parents and stuff like that. That's not my thing, because we make our decisions. But I had a passion for filming when I was a kid. My parents, when I was like 12 or 13 years old, they bought me a camcorder and I was recording everything. And then later on, I started editing things, and like I do editing and stuff for the show here. And that's something that I picked back up. But I was like, what if I had really realized my potential when I was 12 or 13 and said, this is what I want to do. I want to make films. I want to make movies. I want to do this. And I really pursued that. You know, where could I be right now? You know, not saying that I don't enjoy being in education, but I'm just saying, like, where could I really be something that is like your passion, your love?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like now we got to kind of reconstruct things to get back to the love. Like, okay, let's set up this, and you almost got to set your life up where your financial state is taken care of and the family is taken care of, and then once everything is working efficiently, if it with investments or whatever the case is, then you can say, okay, now I can walk away from that because I got my family straight. And now I can build on what I really love or my passion.
Yeah. But like you said, where could it have been if you had been given that creative outlet and pursued that from the very beginning? You know, I can think of, you know, to that same point, you know, I remember majoring in writing in undergrad. And I remember thinking, wow, I'm gonna have to get a job though that's gonna pay me some money, you know, like right away, you know, because, you know, and don't get me wrong, and just like you said, I'm not, you know, down on my parents. I'm not down on my parents, so I'm not down in my wife or anything like that either. But, you know, I remember you know, getting engaged around that time and thinking, I need something that's gonna pay some bills, you know, to be able to provide, you know, not chasing, you know, being, you know, this writer, so to speak. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna put these writing dreams and stuff kind of on the back burner while I go and try to make some money, you know. But what would happen had I continued to pursue that, you know, relentlessly?
Yeah.
You know, like the same way, like, you know, I gotta breathe. What if I had pursued that just like I gotta breathe?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And on the other side of that, when it comes to gearing your kids to make money and not gearing them towards their passions, it's a flip side to that too. I don't want Jonah to go and be a lawyer or go and be a doctor because of the money, solely because of the money.
Yeah.
Because then he'll be in a worse situation than what we're talking about right now. Is because you hate what you do, and then now you're making so much money that you don't know how to survive with less. You know what I'm saying? And, and then you go and you spend all that time and you just thinking about the money now. If you look at being a doctor as a passion, I like helping people. I like helping people feel better. Or being a lawyer, I like helping people with their situations and things that they need and giving them counsel. If that's what you love to do, then great. But I'm just being honest. In my life, it was like I came to that realization like you. Forget what your passion is. You need money.
Yeah.
And it's not even about passion anymore.
Yeah.
It's about you have to do what you have to do to provide for your family. And people just don't understand that, bro. We all had dreams. And I said had.
I was getting ready to say still
have dreams.
Exactly.
But I
Make
feel
it
like
plain.
there's a lot of brothers out there that had dreams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now it's just go to work, survive, feed these kids, make sure they're good. We talk about that all the time when I talk to dads. I want to make sure my family is good. I want to make sure my kids are good. I want to make sure my wife is good. That's what we care about. And we don't really care about are we good and following our passions and stuff like that.
Yeah. You got to make time for your passions too. You owe it to them and you owe it to yourself.
But most of the time we make decisions based off of being in a better financial state than making decisions based off of our passion and what we love to do.
You know, I think, and I've said this before, I think it's important as dads that we do whatever path you took, you know, whether you took the, you know, just to, for the sake of the discussion, let's call it like when you get to that impasse and you're like, I'm going to go the passion route or I'm going to go the money route. Whichever one you decide to go on. If you chose the money route where you played it safe, so to speak, and you're going to get you a job in a STEM, you know, field, and, you know, you're going to work and you're going to try to make as much money as you can. And, you know, I'll get back to my passion of photography, you know, here and there. Okay. You know, just like in a previous episode of one of our podcasts, you know, when we talked about don't throw stones when you live in a glass house, similar to that a little bit, but I can't tell my kids, follow your dreams, daughter, follow your dreams, son, and I'm not following mine. You know, well, you might have to adjust because you took this different path, this money route path, you know, and I'm using air quotes there. But you try to get back to that, you know, and still try to, you know, have that creative outlet of the arts and things like that.
Yeah.
And you know, you can't tell them, hey, follow your dreams, da 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 da, and you're not doing it. You're working a job that you can't stand. You're frustrated because you have no creative outlet. You're not able to paint or to be able to, you know, do anything creative, and you're just frustrated all the time. I can't tell my son to follow his dreams of art, and I'm not following mine. You know, I can, but how effective is that going to be?
Yeah.
Right.
And I think we have to keep a ear to the ground when it comes with our kids, you know, and being on alert to what they are passionate about. And like for you to see what your son is passionate about, for you to see what your daughter is passionate about, I think that's great. But some of us may be out of touch with what our kids are passionate about. And I think that's our jobs as fathers. We need to know that.
That's right.
We need to know that. But it's sad, man. It's sad. It's sad because, and I know because we've talked, I know how we are getting back to our passions. I know the steps that we're taking to get me and you. I know how we're taking those steps to get back to it. But I just know that there's a lot of dads out here, man, they done thrown the towel in on it.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen, you know. And, you know, I was even thinking about my nephew just now. And, you know, he has his his pro day's coming up. And he's trying to make it to the NFL. And it's like, this is not even my son, but like, I'm doing everything in my power to help him, encourage him, and support him at this moment, because I just know it's so delicate right now.
Yeah.
You have an opportunity to live out your dream. A lot of people don't. I mean, your first dream.
Yeah.
At 5 years old, I want to go to the NFL. Teacher asks you in school, what do you want to be? I want to be an NFL football player. Well, you need to have a plan B. Yep. But but his plan A is in reaching distance right now. Yeah. And like,
it's in his grasp, so to speak.
Right.
There for the taking.
It's there. And that brings me some pride and joy, because it's like, man, you can live your dream. You might just be able to live your dream, man.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not going to get that opportunity again. And so many of us, you know, we're not able to live that first dream, you know. So I think we should do whatever we can to support our kids. I don't care what their crazy dreams. They want to be an astronaut, whatever. They want to be a Olympian, whatever. Do what you have to do, man. Make the sacrifice you have to make, because we got 18 years. We got 18 years to put in everything we can in our kids that they can accomplish the goals they want to accomplish. Let them pick the wildest dream and let them know that they can achieve it, because your words hold power to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
They hear you say it. Oh, my dad think I can do it. He's been around for a long time. He think I can do it. He's seen a lot of people fail and succeed.
He believes in me.
Yeah, but he believes in me. I can't let him down. I can't let them down, you know? So, yeah. You got anything else, though?
I don't.
All right. We thank you guys for listening to Dad Roots Podcast with Mario E. and Kid. And we're going to catch you guys next time. Peace. Y'all have a good one.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Dad Rules Podcast with your hosts, Mario E. and Kid. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, follow and like us on Facebook and Instagram. You can find our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Breaker, and Player FM. Till next time.